was going. 716, stand up. Neck on the beat. Let go. With them fly ass chicks who paint them pretty ass lips. With them trap boys out doubling up on bricks. For musicians like myself that was blessed with a glitch. Rap with a package, see what it is. Swerving through traffic like I lost control of the whip. Hurt the competition like I ran over these bricks. Double lines mean nothing when you're hugging the bridge. Red light, green light, headlight, beat bright. Superstar life make these lanes hate right.
What's up? How y'all doing out there? How's everything going? Welcome to Talk Years Tuesday, baby. How's it doing? Ryan, what's going on with you, man?
What's up, man? I'm just chilling, man. Glad to be here.
Yes, I'm definitely glad to be here as well. Ian Kelly.
Indeed, yes, I am in the building. Dennis, Ron, Dallas. I mean, yeah, we got all these people in here.
Yeah, Dallas Oliver is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. If y'all don't know, now you know. Dallas Oliver is in the house. Dallas Oliver, what's going on?
Doing pretty good. 2 weeks in a row now. So was missing for like 2 or 3 years. So try and be more consistent and get back into it.
That's good. I'm not gonna lie, we do miss hearing you. Now usually I would start with what happened, baby, or what else going on, but we got some breaking news straight from Sam Sports. First one is Russell Wilson agreed to a deal up to $21 million to sign with the New York Giants. The second one is Stephon Diggs went to Dallas's New England Patriots, 3-year deal. I think it's up to $68 million.
$69 million.
$69 million. That's a freak bull right there.
$26 million guaranteed.
He could have settled for 68. Freaking bull right there. $69 million.
Rob Gronkowski loves that deal.
I bet he does.
Ouch.
Yeah. But I just want to know what's your thoughts on those two situations. Y'all let me know. Ryan, tell me what your thoughts.
I like the Russell Wilson deal. And I like the Stephon Diggs deal. But he needs to show up. And what I mean by that, y'all do y'all good team. But when y'all do make it to the playoffs, he need to show up. Because that showed me they paid him to be the number one. Yes or no, Dallas? So when you get that type of money, you need to show up. Ain't no days off. Ain't no, my knee hurt, my ankle hurt, my elbow hurt. No, show the F up. All that whining you doing, you the man now. Well, you been the man, but you the man. You the number one wide receiver on the Patriots. So show the fuck up. That's all I got.
Now, when it comes to these moves, I understand why it was done. Giants, veteran quarterback, Jameis Winston, veteran quarterback, who they signed recently as well. You're going to draft a quarterback either round 1 or round 2. It's pretty much a given at this point. They're going to have to take some quarterback out there with New York. But it's a bridge deal. I mean, there's a reason why they didn't sign a long-term deal with both quarterbacks. They essentially gave them 1-year deals with a second-year option. That's pretty much what both guys got. Mm-hmm. So when it comes to Wilson, when it comes to Winston, you're going to be there for a year, and then they're going to move on from you, and they'll have the young guy who they just drafted be there in 2026. And for New England, you have Diggs on a 3-year deal. Drake May had to have some weapons. That was one of the main criticisms New England had last year. I mean, Patriots had over $120 million in cap space. They could have bought in a whole new roster if they really wanted to. And this is just a situation where you spended money, you're going to bring people in, and what I'm going to complain about is that with Wilson and with Diggs, these are not moves that are going to help them, be a playoff team. Giants are not going to be a playoff team just by adding Russell Wilson. You had to add more to it. So Stephon Diggs alone does not have the Patriots be a playoff team. Now, him being added with all the people they've added this offseason helps them get closer to that goal. But Diggs himself does not make you an automatic playoff team. So that's kind of where the negative lies there. Like, these are good moves, and they're moves in the right direction, but they are not moves that are immediately going to make you a playoff contender, regardless if it is in Boston or if it's in New Jersey.
Well, I'm going to say this. I know why Stephon Diggs went there. It took me a little while to catch on, but he want to get back with the Bills. I got it. I ain't mad at you, Stephon. Do what you do, man. You want to get back at the Bills for the next 3 years? Patriots paying you the highest money you could get. Do what you do, Stephon Diggs. I ain't mad at you. I think the Patriots do have a chance to make the playoffs, though. I'm going to have to say I think they got a chance to make the playoffs. Now, again, I call it a chance. That's a chance.
Does 8-9 get you to the playoffs?
Well, what was your record last year, Dollar?
4-13.
4-13? And I think they had a chance to win 3 of those games that they lost.
To win 6 of those games.
I'm talking about that you lost.
Yeah, they had a chance to win. They had a chance to win 10 games last year. Right off the top of my head, I can think about the Colts game. That was actually at that game where Joey Sly missed the kick by that much at the end, like 1 yard off. I think of that one at least off the top of my head. And there was, without looking at the schedule, but there was at least 2 or 3 off the top of, that they could have. And if I looked at the schedule, there was more. The Tennessee game, right, where he had the crazy play at the end and they had a chance to win that one. And
right, that's one of the games I do remember.
There was 2 of them right there. So, but I'm sure I'm actually gonna. I'll let you talk for a second because I'm actually curious about that now. I want to see.
So, the way that I see it with the Patriots and all the moves they made this year, I'm gonna predict that the Patriots will be the first team out. So essentially, they'll be the 8th seed, in a way. That's where I have the Patriots. I think that 8-9 is kind of around 8-9, 9-8 is where.
Well, I think they got the coach. I think they got the coach to get them 2 more wins.
Okay.
I think that they beefed up the team in the offseason to get 2 more of that. So from 4 wins to 8 wins, I can see. I'm with you on that. Now, do they have the quarterback to get them other 3 wins? It's something we will find out.
We will have to wait and see. Yes.
I really think they do.
I want to believe that they do.
And you got a good head coach.
That's why I said they got the coach to get 2 more wins. I believe they got the coach to get 2 more wins. I believe they made an offseason move to get 2 more wins. So that's 8 wins right there from the 4 that they had last year.
So
do they have the quarterback? Do they have the quarterback to get them 3 more wins? Is the question.
I have their schedule from last year right here. So here's the games that they could have won. So they lost the overtime game to Seattle 23-20. They had the lead for much of that game. So that was one. Then the one where they revoked Javon Baker, I think it was Polk's touchdown against the Dolphins back of the end zone, even though he did have his feet down, and they lost that one 15-10. That was 2 they could have had. Then the Titans game, so that was 3. They lost to the Rams 28-22. That was 1 they said. That's 4. The Colts game, that's 5. The first Bills game where May went off for almost 300 yards. So that's 6 right there. That's the 6 games that they lost by 6 points or less last year with the crap that they dared call a roster.
All right. Well, he believes 10 games is in it. I'm gonna take Dallas's word for it. We will come back and talk about this during the season.
I'm going to guarantee that with the Diggs move, before with all the moves they made, they were possibly a playoff team. I was going to give them like a 7 out of 10 with all the moves they made before, because we know their run defense and their linebackers were weak. And they addressed that in every facet. They got the secondary help. They addressed it top to bottom on the defensive side. They made the moves on the O-line. All they need to do is replace Vidarian Lowe on the left side, which they believe they'll do in the first round. And now you have Diggs, which puts you over the top. I'm going to say they are definitely a playoff team, 100% wild card, and I'm going to let them go minimum 9-8 and at best 11-6.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right.
Dalton said y'all still need a whole line.
Yes, that
We just need one more
another
piece.
thing I
Well, I
was
mean,
bring up.
Brandon Sharif is still out there, so
Right now, they just need to replace Vidarian Lowe, because they have the guards intact, and then you're probably going to see Morgan Moses at right tackle, and Bradbury's their new center. And you have Strange and Mwanu.
all right. JC turns into a Patriots podcast. Well, we had to talk about the signing of Stephon Diggs.
But
Hey, look. I
Russell
understand.
Wilson.
I understand the Pats podcast thing, understanding that STL has State Packing on his end. I get that, but
Yeah. Now,
maybe he'll actually do a Patriots podcast throughout the year, maybe next year.
Maybe, but my other news that was about Russell Wilson. With the Giants getting Russell Wilson, I have a trade proposal that I will be presenting on Wild Wednesday. That now makes 100% sense now. 100% sense.
What the trade?
Trade proposal coming on Wild Wednesday.
No.
Make sure y'all tune in to Wild Wednesday for the trade proposal.
Hey, hold on. Let me ask you this question. So, Dennis, when you plug something for Sam Sports, that's cool. But when I did it 2 weeks ago, BJ got mad at me. Okay, all right.
Oh, damn. Hey, BJ, he trying to say you ain't shit, BJ. I just want to let you know
I'm
that.
just saying, he got mad at me in the comments for plugging my own shit 2 weeks ago. But, hey, he plugged your stuff, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is the Sam Sports Incorporated show, so.
Yeah.
That's the only difference. Just like we stay tuned Incorporated as well.
Mm-hmm.
But you got
watch
to
that show though on Wednesdays.
You got to say the trade on here first.
He doesn't got to do
that.
No,
all y'all gonna do is say they ain't getting all that night shit.
No.
They can have it.
He's cutting a promo. He's
cutting damn.
There you go. He was waiting on your ass, Ian.
I was minding my business. I was chilling, y'all. That was it.
Hey, speak, and he apparently gets summoned. So,
y'all have a great day. That was it. That was all. Just have a great day.
It's cool when they do it.
Meanwhile, let's get to the what happened, baby. Goddamn. Let's get to the what happened, baby.
I've been taking notes from Ian for a long time. Shout out to my boy Ian. You were right about Georgia players. You were right. And I don't understand it because every year we go through this same bullshit every year.
Mm-hmm. Tell him.
Every year.
Go ahead, man. Tell him. Go ahead and tell him.
It is a top wide receiver. He named Nitro Turtle, arrested and charged with reckless driving. What? Hey, you have not seen what happened to Jalen Carter? His stock went down in the draft.
I
mean, did it go down, or did he just happen to go to the right team? Thanks to the Chicago Bears.
Wait a minute. He was supposed to be. Nah, I give Dennis man props. He did go to a good team. I'm not taking nothing away from that.
Hey, Dennis. By the way, you're welcome.
But what I'm saying is, you should take notes from people who went through the bullshit before you.
They're young kids, man. They don't take.
I don't give a damn. If you a young kid, you should not be behind the wheel then. Yes or no?
I think that when it comes to University of Georgia, man, they should have a driver's ed
You,
course. Driver's
you know
education.
what? Nah, they don't even. They need to take the bus. For now on, if I'm the head coach of Georgia, you need to give these players bus passes.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Uber passes. Let them ride around in style, but still remind them they ain't all shit.
Right.
And all that.
What the fuck? We go through this bullshit every year.
I've been telling him for like the last 4 years. This is kind of the funny part. So
you don't, Georgia, y'all don't understand. You don't motherfucking understand. You get behind a wheel and you driving crazy. Your black ass will go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
And your start in the drive will drop. No ifs, buts about it.
So, honestly, Henry Ruggs should have been an indicator to anybody else.
Right.
People forgot about that in like less than a month. So.
Right. If I'm the Georgia Bulldog head coach, y'all need to get bus passes. Everybody on the damn team.
Hey, let's just say that Mr. Thomas, he will be fined at the end of the show for trashing the studio up. He will suffer a fine.
I don't give a damn. I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. He needs to get bus pass.
Energy right now.
He needs to get motherfucking bus pass. All of those some bitches.
Yeah, Georgia got a real driving problem. That's for sure.
You know what the driving problem is in Georgia, right, Ryan?
What?
I figured it out. It's them damn ain't too many streetlights out that motherfucker. That's what it is. It's too damn. Them roads is too fucking dark.
But still, look what. Take notes from people been through some bullshit. Take notes. But now y'all do this shit every year. Okay. Give him motherfucking ass a bus pass. All of the toenail eating bitches.
Yeah,
Ron
they need
just
drivers.
had Dennis Green energy for a solid 3 minutes, and a solid 3 to 5 minutes, and I loved it. He just reminded me so much of Dennis Green. They are who we thought they were.
Basically. Every year.
What the point that Robert just made? That's a good point. I mean, it's different circumstances, but does anyone here remember what happened with Laramie Tunsil on draft night, where he was supposed to be like top 3, right, or whatever, one of the top 3 picks, and he ended up sliding all the way down. Was it out of the top 10 or?
I'm gonna defend Laramie Tunsil here. If you want my opinion, if you want my conspiracy theory brain, somebody hacked into his account and set him up on draft night. The timing of it, when it was released, I mean, literally 45 minutes before the draft. Nah, someone set him up on draft night.
How about Gerdo do the shit?
It was his dad. It was his dad. I thought it was his stepdad.
His stepdad. His stepdad. Right. How about Jed say no to eat?
I'm just saying, man, the way that all the circumstances, man, I felt like he just got set up for that shit.
I mean, how about just not smoke weed? Period. You want me
out of like a fucking mask and then record it and keep it saved. Like you just.
But hasn't he made like almost $150 million in career earnings?
Yeah,
so I think he's okay.
He got lucky. He got real lucky.
I'm not saying it didn't turn out okay for him. I'm just saying the way that he slid down from where he was supposed to be drafted to where he was. It's not going to work out like that for every player every time when they do some stupid shit like that.
I mean, if you really want to go there, if you want to put on the historian hat, which I am, Warren Sapp fell in the draft.
Another one.
Yeah. Because only because they said he was doing cocaine.
Right.
All because they allegedly said
They
he was
they
doing
just said he was doing cocaine. They never came out, and we missed out on him and drafted motherfucking Mike Mamula.
Who?
We ain't fucking around do it.
Mike
Exactly. See what I
Exactly.
mean?
Who?
Exactly what
Hey,
you
that's
just
a
said.
name I
Who?
haven't
Who?
heard forever. Mike Malula. Yeah.
Mike Mamula. Drafted Mike Mamula. We missed
Boston
out on
College,
Warren
right?
Sapp because of his cocaine situation and
Right.
drafted Mike
Hey,
Mamula. And to this
hey,
day,
I mean,
that's why I was
I'm
so
gonna say
glad that
this
we
by the
got
way.
Jalen Carter.
I'm gonna say
I
this
mean,
by the way. Does anyone see the viral clip of the NFL draft? The Jets fans are chanting, "We want Sapp," and they look
yeah.
so deflated, so absolutely just
Right.
annoyed at Kyle Brady.
But
Kyle
all
Brady
I
was who they drafted.
did trying to say, don't put yourself in a messed up situation like this.
Yeah.
Every year, Georgia has somebody to get arrested for drink driving or just driving too damn fast.
Yep.
Georgia has turned into the Florida Gators, except in Georgia they're speeding,
No,
and in Florida, except they're not selling bricks on the side, but it's these damn SEC teams. The fuck are they doing? They all got
right. I mean, it don't make no
fucking up.
sense.
No, it ain't all SEC teams, all right.
I'm
Uh,
sorry.
Those
it's
out there.
Well, it's not. Yeah, it's not literally all SEC teams. Those are just the last
Yeah,
two that came to my mind.
I'm sorry. If you really want
yeah,
to go back far, that was Miami. That was Coral Gables. If you really want to go back,
but
like,
that all I
Yeah,
got for you.
Florida was doing it too when Urban Meyer was there. A bunch of the players were getting busted.
That all I got for y'all. I mean, it really
yeah.
pissed me the fuck off because every year we get top talent, and every year they do some bullshit. Every year,
Might have to come down to the coach, man.
a coach. If I was a head coach, I cannot be watching you 24/7.
I mean,
Yeah.
Well, you need a babysitter.
wasn't Kirby Smart like the Nick Saban assistant that became the head coach?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you need a babysitter. So I
You
need
don't see
to.
this going in. You don't see this
Dennis,
going in all programs. This don't go on in all programs. This goes on
some
at
of
Georgia.
them, and I know some. So Dennis, I know some player. I
If he
know
needs a
a lot of them.
babysitter, we
Well,
think Kirby
you
Smart
don't know
does need
nothing
a
about.
babysitter. He's got to go to North Carolina. He's got to join Belichick. He'll keep him right in line. No having
I mean,
fun.
I just saying I getting tired of the fuck shit. Y'all too damn old to be doing this stupid shit. Then y'all be crying, oh, run me, run me. You put yourself in a fucked up situation. That's why you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Ian, what you got, Ian?
So for my what happened, baby, I'm gonna go to my sport, and that's hockey. Now, the Buffalo Sabres are already a laughing stock as it is, right? One of the worst organizations in all hockey, the Buffalo Sabres. Now, they had a empty net situation. They pulled a goalie. It's going to be a 6-on-5. So what does the Buffalo Sabres do? On defense, one of their players shoots the puck, goes past one of their sticks, and goes all the way down the length of the ice to score on an empty net goal that they pulled. So the Buffalo Sabres scored on an empty net, but in their own net. Congratulations, you are an epic fail, all right? It was an epic failure to see a team score on an empty net that they did. Round of applause. Absolutely bravo. You are one of the worst franchises ever. A+. Good job. All right.
Damn, you harsh on them.
That's just like, that's just like what happened with the Minnesota Vikings. Jim Marshall run down the other side of the field, scoring on his own team. Like,
Yeah, but that was a mistake because he yeah, you're right.
but see, this was a
You're right.
mistake too. I don't think he meant to shoot it in his own net. It just went past the other guy's stick.
Dang. Got to be more careful. Mm.
All right. Well, Dallas, what do you have, dog?
Shit, I was trying to think of something as you guys were coming around, but I don't know. I came up empty. I couldn't think of nothing.
Uh,
All right, don't worry about it.
it's all good.
Now
It's all good.
there was some sad news that went on this week. That's why I named the show. R.I.P. George Foreman. We lost the legend George Foreman this week,
Mm-hmm.
so that's one thing that I was sad to hear about. The other what happened, baby, is Jaden Daniels' mom. What in the cock blocking situation is going on around this motherfucker here? Like, damn, he talking to Juju. If anything, they star level's about the same. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
What you got sitting in
it's
the middle
because
for? You know what? I understand, right? I understand her problem. Her son look like he about to find love. You ain't found yours. Don't worry, I'm gonna slide in your DM. Slide in your DM.
Uh,
Don't even worry about it. I'll be there for you.
if you
I will
it,
be
want,
there for you.
hey, hold on. If you want my take on this, Dennis, I think what the mama is trying to do is that she wants her son to stay focused. All right, she wants to make sure that he focuses on his career and not mess up the money.
Ain't nothing more focused than a little bit of coochie on the side. All right, ain't nothing more focused than that. All right, that girl got a
but
career.
Hey,
He got
we've
a
seen
career.
plenty of athletes mess up the money due to pussy. All right, we've
That
seen
would be a
but
plenty of
bigger
athletes mess
disaster than when Tony Romo
But
started dating
this
Jessica
girl already
Simpson.
got.
It all went
This girl already
downhill.
got. No, see that's different. This girl already got money.
And
No, I'm
Jessica
saying this
yeah,
girl
Simpson
already got
didn't
money.
already have
but
money. She hooked up with Tony Romo and
No,
his
no,
career went right down the
no.
shitter.
Tony Romo and Jessica Simpson thing is different. That's different. These two, they 22 years old. They both young. They both superstars on their team.
um,
Let
I
let that
mean, are
let
we
them
are we
two
gonna
have
talk about the
fun.
whole Jason Kelsey and Kylie Kelsey thing? I mean, she was on Team USA
Who?
on the soccer side, and he was the
who?
Eagles center. I
No,
mean,
that's not Jason Kelsey. You talking about
Zach and Julie
uh,
Ertz.
shoot, what's her
yeah,
name?
the
Oh,
Ertz.
Ertz. I knew it was Philadelphia something. Shit. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it was Ertz.
But
But
Zach
I'm
Ertz.
saying let them go.
maybe the mama trying to get.
Hey,
Oh
Josh,
no,
you cold blooded, Josh. You are cold blooded.
When we
I
get a
that
mean,
minute, I
messed up,
actually
though.
did just Dennis, I did just think of one. If we still got a minute for it.
You
yeah,
still got a
but
minute. Go ahead.
All right, so my what happened, baby. If anybody's wondering if Odell Beckham is still trying to stay relevant, I'm not sure this is the way he wanted to stay relevant. When we thought the P Diddy case couldn't get any weirder, Odell Beckham got named as one of the defendants in the P Diddy case. I'm like, Odell, baby, I know you're trying to stay relevant, but I don't think that's the way to do it.
Mm, mm. Got to be more careful.
Don't think that's what he had in mind.
Yeah, me either. I really don't
Man,
know what's going on.
I hadn't heard anything about him in a
Ron,
solid
let's
2
get to
years, and then that pops up. I'm like, what are you doing?
Ron. Let's get to the certified players.
my only certified player. I was watching Dream Champs this weekend, and guess who were on there, Dennis? Nelly. Nelly was talking about everything, his whole life, everything. It was a really good interview. So y'all need to go watch Dream Champs. I mean, he was talking about everything. So he break everything down. The beef between KRS-One and him, he broke down everything. So go watch it.
All right,
But
that was a good interview.
that's all I got.
Okay, Ian, what you got?
so when it comes to, I'm gonna go to March Madness and shout out to Derek Queen, because not only will you be getting a statue, not only will you have your jersey number be retired by Maryland when the time comes, but for the remainder of your life, anytime you go home, anytime you in Maryland, all right, you're not gonna have to pay for beers. Food's gonna be on certain people, all because you saved Maryland from losing to Colorado State. So for the rest of his life, he'll be taken care of in the state of Maryland, all right? Because he took care of Maryland basketball. So shout out to Derek Queen. Shout out to him.
All right. I don't think it's that's a Baltimore saying if y'all didn't know that. Fuck it is dummy. It's a Baltimore saying. Just want to let y'all know that.
Hey, I'm just saying though, Maryland basketball. I mean, when's the last time they were really relevant? Juan Dixon and Steve
Juan
Blake.
Dixon, and and I don't think Juan Dixon can go down there and get a beer now. So shit.
Ouch.
I don't even know too many people know Juan Dixon. I ain't gonna say he ain't got no statue because I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't even know too many people know Juan Dixon. Dollars, you know who Juan Dixon is?
Nope.
See what I mean? Prime example. See what I mean? All right, Dollars, what you got for certified player though?
I'll go to March Madness too, and maybe we could take a little bit of hype away from him because the Gators are a #1 seed. And they haven't had incredibly tough matchups so far, but they actually have drawn Maryland now in the Sweet 16. But if we're gonna give credit where it's due, I think Walter Clayton Jr. would be a good place to start. I mean, he's been incredibly consistent. He dropped 23 at Norfolk State. He dropped 23 in their last game. He's like hit, I think, 8 or 9 3-pointers already. He's shooting around 40% from 3 for the tourney so far. He's just been the #1 all-around player so far in March Madness, like he was for the Gators all season, and he's probably the main reason why they're a #1 seed coming out, and real good chance to come up to the Elite Eight.
Okay,
Ah,
I think I'm gonna get my certified. I think I'm gonna get my certified player out there too, Brian. You know, for putting up them 17 points the other day. I got to give him certified player for that because he was out there hooping, man. And everybody was hating on him, but he was out there hooping. So shout out to Brian for that. And I want to give a certified player out there to the GM of the New York Giants for giving us Saquon Barkley. I got anytime I think about it, Saquon Barkley. Thank you for giving us Saquon Barkley. Thank you very much for that. All right, Ron, let's get to these questions.
My first question: name a NBA team you think coming out of the East this year, Dennis.
It should be Cleveland, but I'm going with Orlando. Dallas, you got to turn that fan on, bro.
Turn your fan down.
I did. It's on low.
No, you got to turn it up. We can hear it.
It's on low. I'm gonna die if I turn it off.
So how, when it comes to Eastern Conference, Cleveland Cavaliers will be coming out of the East. I think that they're going to be an organization that's really going to find a way to beat Boston. Despite the fact that Kristaps Porzingis will not be healthy, I do not trust Porzingis to actually be healthy for an entire playoff. So I have Cleveland going all the way coming out of the East.
Dallas.
Okay.
I don't want to say the Celtics because it just sounds too easy. Even though I think they will, so I don't know. I'll do something different. I'll go out on a limb and I don't know. I'll go with the Knicks maybe.
Who?
Well, you already said the Knicks.
Shout out to Josh Hart though. Shout out to Josh Hart.
So
what you got
do
over there?
something different. You never know. Shot in the dark could be dark horse team.
What you got, Ron?
I would have said the Indiana.
Pacers ain't bad pick either.
They got a very young team.
New York sports ain't got much else going for them right now. Why not the Knicks?
They got a very young team. They play defense. They do everything and they've been winning. But can they put it together at the right time? That my only, and I could see the Cavs too. I really can, but I can't see the Pacers too. So
Dog
next
statistics. But what's that?
my next question: is it true when a NFL player get paid next year, his production go down? Dennis.
That's not 100% true, sir. It happens on certain players in certain situations.
Yeah.
So honestly, it depends on was it a re-signing or was it going somewhere else? Because from what I have noticed, all right, my observation, the ones that re-signed and went back to that organization, their stats will go down that first year, and then will start to come back the second year. So if let's say they signed a 4-year deal and they go back to, let's say, the Washington Wizards, God forbid, I don't know why anybody would do that, but let's just say that you signed that 4-year deal. Year one, your stats will go down probably 3 or 4 points, 1 or 2 rebounds, maybe half an assist, and then by year two, will go back to where you were before that contract signing. It's because you're comfortable. All right. It's because you're used to that city. You're used to that environment, used to where you are. But if you're going to a brand new team, if you signed a nice, shiny deal, you're still going to be wanting to prove yourself. You're still going to want to have that competitive, chip on your shoulder because this team gave me all that money. All right. They gave me a chance. So what we normally see is that the first year will have their stats be kind of at a high level. And then it will be downhill from there.
So,
So it just depends on. This depends, like
Dallas in football.
Yeah, you said for football. I did just want to take a quick dig at the Angels, though. It's different in baseball, though. Unless you're a player named Anthony Rendon and you sign this tremendous 10-year deal with the Angels, and then you just go out there and fuck around and decide to miss almost half the games and play like complete ass and completely rob the team of all that $300 million they gave you. More power to you.
Damn.
If you're a lazy bum like him. But for football, with the re-signings. Like Ian said, if you get a player going to a new team, I'd say about 95% of the time, they come out there and they just really ball out. You want to endear yourself to that city. Unless your name happens to be Albert Hainsworth or anything like that. Just collecting that money and eating all the buffet food. Spend all your money there. But when you re-sign players, you look at Zeke. I mean, he got his money after a huge year, and then Zeke ate too much and got too fat to run anymore. And then Cam Newton re-signed after his MVP year, I believe. Right, Ian? Was it after his MVP year that Cam got his big money?
His MVP year.
Yeah, and then what happened to his career? Just straight downhill, and he just. So I think those are examples of lazy players. We have seen plenty of players, though, that have re-signed with their teams on lucrative deals, and they've come back better than ever, either right off the bat or right after. I think you just have to know the player's personality type. So you should have never paid Cam. You should have never paid Zeke, especially because running backs are so replaceable and they're a dime a dozen. So it really just depends on the player.
I'm going to clarify this, by the way. My statement could apply to baseball, basketball, hockey, football, pretty much any sport. My logic applies. It's just essentially any sport. That's the way it goes.
See, I look at Chase just got paid. His best friend T. Higgins just got paid. So, do you think their stats still will be up there, or do you think they will fall off this year? Yeah.
What I'm going to answer is this year, all right, 2025, the Bengals are going to take a step back. I don't see the Bengals being an explosive offense like they were last year. I don't see a Triple Crown winner like it was last year. I don't see Joe Burrow putting up Madden-like numbers. I don't see it. So, similar to what I was referring to, when you re-sign with the team that you were at, I think that in 2025, the Bengals will take a slight step back. And then by 2026, they'll kind of go back to what they were in 2024. But 25, they'll take a slight step back in stats. So,
All right. My next question: who should the Tennessee Titans take with their first pick, or should they keep Will Levis as the starter? Yeah.
Hey, I'm taking Travis Hunter.
well, I'm sorry, you taking who now?
You
I'm
taking
taking Travis
Travis
Hunter.
Hunter?
I'm taking Travis Hunter.
So you or all people were talking about how bad Will Levis been, and you gonna take Travis Hunter?
Yep. And you know what I'm gonna do after that? I'm gonna call the Giants up since I know you don't need no quarterback, and I'm gonna make a trade package for the number 3 pick. So I go get Shador Sanders and I can put them together in Tennessee, just like Houston did with C.J. Stroud and Will Anderson.
You're not getting all that good shit now, Dennis.
Now you see why. Now you see why I don't introduce my trade situations to you no more. You ain't got nothing nice to say. Now you see why I ain't introduced it to you.
No,
You ain't got nothing nice to say.
I didn't mess with you, but
Ron over
that's
here being
not,
Robert Kraft, crushing his hopes and dreams. He's like, no.
but in Dallas, what you got for me? You got Will Levis, or do you drive Cam Ward?
Well, I'm inclined to say Cam Ward because he is the nice shiny piece. You know, everybody likes that. They want the new hot commodity. But we know that quarterback is such a crapshoot. It's the hardest thing to pick. And here's the thing: Tennessee will draft Cam Ward, but they shouldn't. If they're committed to turning the franchise around, it is really hard to build from the quarterback up unless you just happen to be a quarterback away. Tennessee is a quarterback and about 45 other players on that roster away from being anywhere near competitive. They have absolutely almost no basis to work with. I can't even tell you what their identity is other than a trash can. They have nothing. I mean, they might be the worst team in the league, quite honestly. So if you draft Cam Ward, he is going to die. It's going to be another David Carr situation all over
They're
again.
not the
He will
worst.
lose all
They're not the
confidence.
worst team in the league.
They might be. I cannot name you one
They're not.
impactful player on their team. Not
Calvin
one.
Ridley.
They got Jeffrey Simmons.
He's
They
irrelevant.
also got Darius Sneed. They also have Tony
So all
Pollard, who
right.
went for 1,000 yards last year.
So two.
They're not the worst
Like I'm
team
saying,
in
they
the
don't
league. They
have an
lost
identity.
games.
You can
They
have
lost games
impactful
last
players
year
and not
because of their
have.
quarterback.
You can have
Sir, they
impactful
lost
players and
games
not
last year
have an
because of their
identity.
quarterback play.
They're not a running team.
I
They're
hear what
not a
you're
throwing
saying.
team. They're not a defensive team.
Sir,
Cam
are you
Ward is
listening or are
not
you
going to
talking?
fix it. And one player will not
Okay.
fix it. There are teams where one player will fix it. This is not that situation. Stick with Will Levis because you're
Listen,
going to suck either way. And just let him get killed out so you can eventually build up with more draft picks, build up an O-line, build up a receiving core, then find your QB of the future. Your time is not now, and Cam Ward won't fix that.
Oh, Dennis.
I answered the question all right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to answer your question by not answering your question.
Dang.
The Tennessee Titans are not going to have the first overall pick. But Cam Ward will go first overall.
So you're
There will
saying
be a desperate team that is going to overpay to get the number 1 overall pick and draft Cam Ward.
you think they will trade down?
Tennessee will trade down. And they will get 2 first-round picks minimum to trade back down. Look, Cam Ward to me is not the best quarterback in this draft. To me, Cam Ward's not even the second best quarterback in this draft.
So,
But
okay.
but he has the intangibles, right? He looks like a quarterback. And that's why some team will go and overpay for him.
So they got OC. They came from Cincinnati. That whatever Joe Burrows got there. He helped develop him.
The issue Tennessee is going to have is that because there is no bona fide number 1 pick in this draft, let's just be honest, there is no undisputed, unanimous number 1 pick. I've seen at least 4 names go first overall based off people I've talked to. So with there not being a definitive number 1, that means that there's going to leave some open opportunity for a team to trade up and go get a number 1 pick and draft who they want. Now, I still say it's going to be a quarterback 1-2. Okay, I think there's going to be a quarterback taking the first 2 picks. Travis Hunter will go 3rd, and then it'll be an absolute crapshoot from 4th on back. But I say Tennessee trades back. They're not going to be the number 1 pick, and some team will draft Cam Ward.
All right, let me answer Dalton question first. He said, "Do y'all want?" What he said? Do y'all want Tennessee?
He's pretty much saying, "Do you want the Tennessee Titans to ruin Cam Ward?"
I mean, I don't. They got a good OC. Well, AKA head coach. Now,
I don't trust Callahan. If you
wait
want
a
my
minute.
opinion.
He did help develop Joe Burrows. He did do that in Cincinnati. Is we missing something?
Yeah, you're
I mean, if
missing
we're
that they
being
don't have
honest,
an offense to
Callahan's
build
mostly
around.
known for being a assistant somewhere else. I mean, he was in Cincinnati for like a year or 2, but he wasn't.
Wasn't Callahan an O-line coach at one point too? And if he was an O-line coach, and the weakness of the Bengals was
Well,
the
offensive
O-line,
line.
Sir,
and Burrow was
that's
getting
not him.
murdered.
Sir. Dallas. That was his daddy. That's his daddy. You about to go too far into it. That's his daddy.
To answer your question, he was the quarterback's coach. He was not the offensive line coach. He
All
was
right,
the quarterback's
so
coach.
my whole point is Joe Burrows breaking records out here, and he had a part of that. He did his part. So y'all don't think he would do that with Cam Ward?
The reason why I say
I think
no,
he could do it. I think he could do it with Cam Ward, but I would rather get Shador and Travis together because in Tennessee, the reason that they were losing so many games was because of Will Levis, which I was trying to tell Dallas, but he went on to a rant, and I know he don't watch much football, so if it ain't the Patriots, he ain't watching it. What I'm trying to tell you is if you watch Tennessee play last year, their defense was up to par. Their offense was terrible. They lost the game to Chicago, and Chicago didn't score an offensive point.
no, we did not.
Not
No.
one offensive point.
My
I'm just here to let you know. That's how bad Will Levis was. That Chicago didn't score not one offensive point.
No, we did not.
Will Levis really killed them last year. Tennessee Titans are a QB away, but if they put all their chips together, they get a QB and a wide receiver / D-back, but they may have to trade a player like Ladarius Sneed.
yeah, I don't think he's going anywhere, player.
But they're gonna have to trade him because they're not gonna keep paying that big ass contract. So they might have to trade him. That's what I said to the Giants. The Giants end up getting all these first round picks. The Titans end up getting Shador, and they get Travis. Now let's just say Callahan don't work out for the next 2 years. Guess who's coming to town?
Who?
They go, who else?
Who?
Who else? I need to say it because all y'all looking crazy. Do I need to say it?
Yeah.
Go ahead, say it.
Coach Brown.
Prime not joining.
Y'all didn't see that?
Prime not joining. Prime said he not going to leave college.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that too. Though up the price. He told you he wasn't gonna leave Jackson State, didn't he?
That's true. That is true. All right. My next question. Name your top 5 NFL head coaches in the NFL right now and put them in order. Dallas, talk to me. Top 5.
Right off the bat. Damn, dude.
Top 5.
Fuck. Man, y'all gotta give me more fucking warning than this shit.
All right, I come back to you.
Yeah, thank you. Please.
So, despite losing in the Super Bowl, Andy
Mm-hmm.
Reid will be number one.
Mm-hmm.
As long as he is still around, as long as he hasn't retired yet,
Mm-hmm.
Andy Reid will be number one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a guy who, at number 2, would be Nick Sirianni, reigning champion. All right, he just won the Super Bowl. You got to put him in that. You got to put him up there because he just recently won. All right, hold on.
Yours?
I got to put him there. I got to put him there because he just won recently. All right, that's really the way I'm gonna look at it there.
All right.
Now I'm gonna see what this guy has done post his Super Bowl win. But since he won that Super Bowl, since he still has a good offensive mind, I will have Sean McVay up there. I will have him at number 3. Just based off what he's done with the Rams the last couple of years. You have to show at least basic respect for Sean McVay out there at the Rams.
Yeah.
And then the final 2 is kind of difficult because you can go 2 ways. You can either go based off of longevity, and you can look at Tomlin, you can look at Harbaugh, or you can go based off of regular season success, and you can sit there and say that it should be a guy like, for example, Sean McDermott, or it should be, for example, the guy from Baltimore. So the way I'm going to look at it is I'm going to have at number 4 is going to be Jim Harbaugh. Almost said John. I had to correct myself. Yeah. Jim Harbaugh would be at number 4. And then at number 5, I'm going to go with Sean McDermott just because of his recent success that he's had with Buffalo and being a consistent playoff contender out there in the AFC East.
Well, I finna go. So I got Andy Reid, number 1.
Yep.
I got Pete Carroll, number 2.
Whoa.
Ooh, number 2 now. He won Super Bowl and lost a Super Bowl.
Okay, so you go on longevity. Okay.
Right. Number 3, I can't stand this man, but he got a brilliant mind. Kyle Shanahan.
Ooh. Okay. All right.
He went to the Super Bowl how many times?
And he lost how many Super Bowls?
Hey, he got there. They're hard to do. A lot of teams don't get there.
Getting there doesn't mean shit unless you win. Getting there, say, well, we almost won the Super Bowl. We got there. We almost won. Almost only counts for shit and horseshoes and hand grenades.
Get one.
Okay. All right. Continue.
The Pittsburgh Steelers head coach.
Mike Tomlin.
All right. So you're staying with the longevity. All right. I got it.
And my last one, Sean McVay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I like Andy Reid, Sean McVay, Mike. I like Andy Reid, Sean McVay, Mike Tomlin. I like a coach that he's not really successful, but I like him. The Green Bay Packers coach.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've seen what he could do with 3 different quarterbacks and still get a W.
Mm-hmm.
But he needs to get more successful in the postseason. Mm-hmm. He needs to get to a Super Bowl. But I like him though. And Nick Sirianni, I'm putting my coach in there. Nick Sirianni.
Top 5?
He just won a Super Bowl. Yes, he's top 5.
All right.
How many coaches been to 2 Super Bowls?
I did. Kyle Shanahan been to 2.
How many he won?
None.
He played the same team we played. I'm trying to figure out what's wrong. We played the same team twice. He played the same team. We played the same team twice. He played the same team twice. What's wrong?
You did. The
problem is Kyle Shanahan's team didn't score more points than the other team.
All right, Dallas, who you got?
All right, I'm ready. My number 1 is not Andy Reid. and it's not Nick Sirianni. My number one is Sean Payton.
Yeah,
For the
go
simple
shoot
fact,
yourself.
no,
Go ahead, sit down. Don't even
For
worry
the
about it. Cut the
simple
fan back
fact-
on.
for the simple fact that where Denver was at when he took them over, he has turned them from a complete joke with no identity into a quarterback away, and they went and nailed that in this draft with Bo Nix. They had no business being in the playoffs. Yeah, they didn't play that well against the Bills, but nobody really played that well against the Bills until Travis Kelce, until Taylor Swift's boyfriend and all their little referee buddies showed up and robbed the Bills of a trip to the Super Bowl, and that's the only reason that Kansas City played well against them. So we're not going to judge the Broncos based on that. I'm going to judge them based on the fact that Sean McDermott has completely turned around not one, but two teams, and I expect them to have Denver in the Super Bowl in the next 2 years because they now have a dominant defense again. They have the passing game identity, and they finally have a franchise quarterback for the first time since they had Peyton Manning in his record-setting year.
They have a passing game identity, but the Titans don't have a running game identity.
The Titans have no identity. The Titans' identity is garbage.
Okay. Like I said, it all depends on what you're watching. If you ain't watching the Titans, we see why you talk them like that.
All right.
So hold on. Here's the only thing about Sean Payton that I'm gonna add. The Broncos' success this past year, I put more credit to Vance Joseph and that defense than I do Sean Payton and the offense. So if you really want my opinion, I think Vance Joseph is actually one of the main reasons they've succeeded out there in Denver.
Wait a minute.
I was just going
with how well
that defense won them a lot of games.
Yeah,
that offense was shaky.
Wait a minute.
That offense was shaky. They didn't have a run game.
But look at how good the offense got as the season went on.
I'm not saying the offense is bad. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying that there were certain wins throughout last year that Vance Joseph and that defense that was being ran helped Denver win at the end of the game.
Right. Yeah. And then the offense was more responsible towards the end of the year because Sean Payton has a history as being a quarterback whisperer and developer, working with Tony Romo in college, right? He was with Romo in college, and then he was with Dallas as an offensive assistant. I think it's the QB's coach. Then he would turn around with Drew Brees when he came from San Diego. So he's made a career of doing that, and it appears as though he's doing the same thing with Bo Nix now. So that being I know that's a hot take. I just wanted to do something different. I'm going to put Reed at 2 for obvious reasons, just because I wanted to do something different to give someone else a shout. I'll put some respect on Sirianni's name. I really do like him, so I'll put him at 3. I will put. I had my other 2 here. I'm gonna put D'Amico Ryans at 4. Actually, I didn't hear anybody mention D'Amico Ryans, and it seems like when he got there, CJ Stroud had kind of hit that wall, more or less, and it didn't really affect them too much to get to the playoffs. Not having Stephon Diggs, they've had a lot of injury problems, but Ryans has built an incredibly deep roster that seems to be able to sustain any injuries or stuff that might come their way, which happens with a lot of teams. But some teams are built to sink or swim, and the Texans still find a way to swim and just keep on going and plug in and play when injuries or whatnot hits. It doesn't really seem to affect him one way or another, and he's just gotten better and better every year. And for my 5, I'll probably go with LaFleur. He gets a lot of hate from people outside because of his playoff record, but when you were working with a diva like Aaron Rodgers, Rodgers was out there losing you those playoff games. And I think at the end of the day, there's only so much any coach can do with somebody who thinks he's better than everybody else, who just refuses to be the ultimate team player. That's not going to win you playoff games.
I'll tell you one thing. One thing I learned about LaFleur, when he had Malik Willis out there winning in football games, I said, no. LaFleur earned my respect after that.
Say that name
people
again,
in the comments are going to hate on my list, but I don't really give a fuck.
Malik Willis.
My next question: do you think Sam Darnold will live up to that contract that Seattle Seahawks gave him? Dennis.
Who you said?
Sam Donald.
No, they drafting the quarterback, so no. He won't. I don't see him finishing the season as a starter
Wow.
unless another quarterback gets a mysterious injury. Other than that, I don't see him finishing the season as a starter.
Dallas. Talk to me.
Fuck no.
Damn.
Man, it's like him
Damn.
That was
Damn.
ain't no man. That was damn.
Damn.
I'll tell you why it's a fuck no. Because does anyone here remember a multi-million-dollar deal for an overhead quarterback who absolutely robbed the, I believe it was Seahawks that signed him from Green Bay. Anybody remember Matt Flynn?
Yeah.
Matt Flynn, yeah.
This is the Seahawks 2.0 version of Matt Flynn.
Damn.
Well, that means they're gonna draft somebody real good, like a Russell Wilson.
Yeah. They will draft somebody because they just paid all this money, $100 million for Sam Darnold. I was sitting there and thinking, they gotta drug test the owner for smoking crack. Like, doesn't somebody go and take the crack pipe out of that man's office? Like, did they not see when the #1 seed in the NFC North title was on the line in Week 17? Did they not watch Sam Darnold become the embodiment of what the New York Jets drafted fucking years before, missing throws left and right? They didn't see that shit. He buckled under pressure like he always does, and they're like, sure, let's trade Geno Smith. Let's trade one former Jets QB and draft another one, neither of which could ever fucking play.
Damn. Yeah.
So, when it comes to Sam Darnold, I could sit here and say that he'll go the Scott Mitchell route, where he filled in with the Miami Dolphins, had respectable numbers, signed a deal with the Detroit Lions, and then his career fell off a cliff immediately afterwards. Really, the only notable thing about Scott Mitchell, besides being a University of Utah quarterback, was that he wore number 19 with the Baltimore Ravens, despite it being retired with Johnny Unitas. But when it comes to, I look at Sam Darnold, I think that he will end up being a guy like Joey Harrington with the Atlanta Falcons.
Damn.
I think that he will end up being a guy that got paid, $8 million to go over to the Atlanta Falcons because of the whole Michael Vick situation.
Yeah.
And he didn't even last his whole year before they had to cut him and move on with Matt Ryan.
Yeah. You're right.
So
you is right.
So to answer your question, no, I don't see Sam Darnold panning out. No.
All right.
Yeah, they got both Sams. They do still got Big Face Sam over there. I forgot that,
Sam
dog.
Howell will be starting by Week 6.
My next
No, they gonna be
question.
Sam now.
If your NFL team had the first draft pick, who will you draft as your franchise quarterback? Cam Ward or Shedeur Sanders? And why him? Dennis, talk to me.
I don't need a franchise quarterback, but
I say if.
I'm gonna play along. I'm gonna take Shedeur.
All right, Ian.
None. I'm not taking Sanders. Sure. I'm not taking Ward.
You got to get one of
these quarterbacks. You got to play along, sir. Play along, sir.
You got to get one, just one.
Jackson Dart.
No, it be. Come on, man. It's between one of these quarterbacks.
All right, let me tell you, if I was a general manager, if I had to take a franchise quarterback, I'm saying no to Ward. I'm saying no to Sanders. I'm trading to get a first-round pick next year. I'm taking Arch Manning from Texas.
I ain't taking him either.
Me either.
Best quarterback in college football plays for one team and one team. So I ain't worried about that.
I ain't talking about Nico from Tennessee. We ain't talking about him.
Dallas, talk to me.
All right, since y'all let Ian make up his own rules and play by them, I am taking a quarterback this year, but I'm not taking the ones you mentioned. I'm waiting until I sit back in the third or fourth round, much like Russell Wilson went in the third or fourth round. And this is mostly just to see how many people I can piss off in the comments, because people already think I'm dumb and hate me, so why not? I really like Kyle McCord. I don't really care what people say. I think he has a chance to be a dark horse and probably one of the more successful QBs that we'll see in the league over the next few years, depending on where he goes. But I really like Kyle McCord's game.
Mm.
Dalton said Rico.
My next question: should the Dallas Cowboys pay Mika $40 million per year, guaranteed? That what the Browns gave Myles Garrett, or trade him? That Dennis,
I'm paying him.
You paying him $40 million per year?
I mean, listen. As Dallas Cowboys organization, you let that money jump up that high. You could have paid him before Max Crosby got paid. You decided to wait and hold on. So now you got to pay him what it's worth. Now, if you wanted to trade him, there's some teams out there willing to give you 3 first-round picks for him and a player.
Yeah.
It's fair to say. You wanted to trade him.
Ian.
I'm doing a signing trade.
Don't do signing trades in the NFL. Don't do signing trades in the NFL.
They've done signing trades in the past, sir.
That's in the past. They don't do them now.
We had one last year.
Who was in the signing trade last year? Who signed and then traded at the same time?
You know what? I'm blanking just because you asked. Like the moment you asked, I started blanking on it. Yeah. But we've seen signing trades before in the NFL. We've seen them.
I know it's people that signs transitional tags, or they sign franchise tags and then get traded. But a signed deal for a couple years and traded? No, I don't know. Transitional tag and franchise tag? Yes. Like Jonah, what's his name? Jonah Jones? Guard from the Rams. I know I fucked his name all the way up, but the guard from the Rams.
You're talking about the now Bears guard, Jonah Jackson.
Right. He's Jonah Jackson. He signed his tag and then got traded to y'all.
That's what I would do. I mean, I would do a signing trade essentially.
All right. Dallas, talk to me.
You said $40 million a year for Micah Parsons, right?
Yep. Per year. Yep.
Should they? No, but will they? Yes, because Jerry Jones is so far past senile, it makes senile look like the best memory ever. Jerry doesn't even know what year it is. They're probably going to give Micah $60 million a year because they are so lost at this point. This is another team I think doesn't have an identity, and they will give Micah Parsons the dollars only because they need to find some way to fill seats in that monstrosity that they call a stadium. People are so close to giving up on that team that the last time they had a defensive player who was a franchise player for them, a guy named DeMarcus Ware, they let him out of the building and he went to Denver and became a Super Bowl champion. People of Dallas never forgave Jerry Jones or the Cowboys front office for that. They cannot afford to let another franchise defensive player slip through their fingers. So they're going to sign Parsons, also partly to make up for the hurt people still feel from D-Ware going to Denver.
So, okay. You said that
Wait, hold on. What you giving up for him, Dallas? Huh? What you giving up for him, Dallas?
What are you giving up for him?
Yeah.
Yeah, your Patriots have been linked to getting Micah Parsons. I know you've seen it. So what are you giving up for him, Dallas?
Well, I'm trying to think what Cowboys need.
A wide receiver, a corner.
No, they don't need a wide receiver. They don't need a corner.
I'll do 2 firsts, a third, and if they still want a player, Man, it kills me to do it. As much as I love Hunter Henry. Yeah.
They don't need Hunter Henry. They don't need no tight
Yeah,
end.
they do. They can use him.
They
They're
got
not
they got
gonna say no to it. If
got
they want a
Shoemaker.
fucking player to go with it, that's one of the few impactful players the Patriots have. That's like their second best offensive player right there. And their best offensive player hasn't even played a fucking snap with them yet, if you're not counting Drake May. So they're not gonna fucking turn down Hunter Henry because he can run a 2 tight
They
end
get that
package.
sir. Your best offensive player is Ramondre Stevenson.
Man, mute your mic and turn your fucking camera off. Put yourself in
Your
timeout.
best offensive player is Ramondre Stevenson. Everything y'all do goes through Ramondre Stevenson
Not when he
for the
can't
past
handle
2
the
years.
fucking ball.
Listen, I ain't never say that he was the greatest. I said he was your best offensive player.
To now. They
Yeah,
did
till y'all
sign
just got,
Dick.
till y'all just
No,
got
everything
Stephon
we
Diggs.
do on offense goes through Hunter Henry. When the offense was playing well, it's because Hunter Henry was balling out. He was setting the tone. New England's always been a heavily tight end based team in their scheme. Either 1 or 2 tight ends. When the tight ends are out there and playing well, it always runs through that.
That's true. But Ramondre Stevenson running the ball has been very good for you.
I think Antonio
As a
Gibson ran
matter
it
of
better
fact,
last
when
year.
you go to scheme against the Patriots, your first thing that you're thinking about is I gotta stop Ramondre Stevenson.
I think Antonio Gibson ran the ball better, than Stevenson last year. I think he's probably a bigger part of the offense.
Now,
Oh,
my
well,
last question of the night. If you was a GM for your NFL team and you draft a wide receiver, he been on the team for 4 years. His last year he get hurt out for the season. Will you sign him back the next year, or will you let him walk, Dennis?
I signed him back. I signed him back.
Yeah.
Depends on what kind of injury he got is the kind of deal I give him.
He out for the season, so
He out for what season? He out for what season? Is he out for that season that he just missed?
He out for
Or he
that
out for the season?
season, then he come back next year.
All right, what kind of injury do we got though?
He tore his ACL.
Oh, all right, then yeah, I signed him back.
All right, Ian, talk to me.
No, I won't sign him back.
Why?
Because that injury will be a liability. Moving forward, after that injury, it will be a liability. So no.
So if he look,
torn
looking,
ACLs like sprained ankles now. They are.
if
Torn
he
Achilles,
looking like,
that's different.
if he looking like he said before, you still will not sign him.
I'm not talking about before the injury. I'm talking about like once that injury happens.
Right.
Then you're saying that I gotta sign him immediately after the injury. Like injury happens, and then
Right.
next up is the signing.
Like you
No.
give it, you go through training camp and all that stuff, or OTs and all that.
What I'm going to say to you is that I'm going to go to my team doctors. I'm going to go to every single person that I know, and I'm pretty much going to say, can he go moving forward? Like, is there 100% chance that he can go moving forward?
And your doctor said yes.
Okay, and then I will sign him to a deal. But if he gets injured and there's no guarantee moving forward, then that becomes a liability. And that liability means I wouldn't sign him after that. No.
That
I ain't never say I was giving him top wide receiver money.
I'm not saying I'm giving him top money. I'm not saying that.
I'm not saying top money. I'm saying that bringing him back if that injury.
Like okay, and for example, Chris Godwin situation.
Bingo.
I'm bringing him back.
Dallas, talk to me.
Yeah, I'll bring him back. I mean, it depends
Yeah.
on the injury. Like you said, so an ACL. If he's young enough, I'd say if he's 28 or under and he has the ACL, depends on the length of the deal too. I wouldn't go any more than probably like 3 years at that point, and a year to year, and see how he's doing. Maybe 4 years, but anything past that, no. And yeah, I'd probably still sign him back if he didn't have an injury history before that. And it depends on if he was just reliable, or if he was like your bona fide number one before that.
I said both are number one.
Bona fide, yeah, sign him back.
There you go, Dennis.
All right, man. Well, y'all got any final words?
Everybody, we cannot do this show without y'all. Thank you to the fans, and like and share the show, and deuces.
Thank y'all for coming out, like you said, and God bless you all. And,
Missed me while I was gone. 716, stand up. Mecca on the beat. Let go.